We're now going to look at working with some annotative dimensioning as well. In the previous video we looked at annotative text styles. We're now going to look at annotative dimension styles. Now you'll notice I'm in the Stair A layout tab, and you can see that what I've done is I've frozen the viewport layers. That includes the dimension layers. So I'm going to go to the Home tab on the ribbon and go into the Layers panel here, and make sure that you select the layer dims that I've created for you. The actual annotation ones here, A Anno Dims and A Anno Dims 100, are actually frozen off in the current viewport. So just hit Escape there, just to deselect the layer settings like so. Now the reason I've done that is we are going to dimension in here. We're going to put a little dimension there to dimension the handrail, but it's going to be annotative. So if I go back to the Model tab now, and zoom in on the staircase here, like so. Getting nice and tight on the staircase, because that's where we're going to place the dimension. And it's just going to be a dimension from that corner there to that corner there. So I now need to set up my annotative dimension style. You can do this from the Home tab or the Annotate tab, either way. So I'm going to go to the Annotation panel on the Home tab on the ribbon, and I'm going to go here to Dimension Style, like so. Now, currently, the current dimension style is annotative. If it isn't, don't worry. Click on New here, and you want to start with annotative from that list there. So you'll notice it automatically makes it annotative there. And what we're going to do, we're going to just class this as training, and then a dash, and then anno, like that. So we know it's an annotative dimension style. Click on Continue, and you'll end up in your new dimension style training anno. Now it's a big dialog box. Go to the lines here, and we're going to set everything up piece by piece. So all of this will become by layer, and you'll notice it all changes to the color of the dims layer as you work your way through. Now the baseline spacing, we're not going to place any baseline, but if we do, we want it to be 10 millimeters apart because it's a metric drawing. Extension lines, we also change all of those to by layer. So make sure they're all by layer as well. And you'll notice it changing in the preview box as you do this. So all of those are by layer. Extend beyond dimension lines. That's that little line there just above the arrow. I'm going to set that to 2.5 millimeters. And then the offset from the origin, I'm going to change that to 4 millimeters. And you'll notice it all starts to look a little bit weird. Don't worry. Go to Symbols and Arrows next. We're going to use close-filled arrowheads. The leader we're not going to use, but it's close-filled as well. Arrow size, we're going to make that, let's say 5 millimeters, and press Tab, and you'll see it starting to look a bit strange in the preview. Don't worry. Arrow size is 5. We won't use any center marks. We'll leave that set to none. Break size 3.75 millimeters is fine. Jog angle 45. Jog height 1.5 there. Text. We'll use the standard text style. Text color, again, by layer. Fill color, none. We're not going to do any fills. Text height, we want that to be 3.5 millimeters. Press Tab again, and you'll see things start to regulate again. The preview always does that a little bit strangely. Don't know why, but it does. Now, you'll notice we're using a really horrible font on our dimensions there. You can hit this button here and go into text style, and perhaps use something like Arial if you want to, like that. Or you could use an annotative text style, which would be useful. So you've got the title layout 15 millimeters there. You've got an annotative there. You can create a new text style. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call it dims, like so. And I'm going to OK it. And I'm going to make sure that it's annotative. And you want the paper text height to be 3.5 millimeters high. And I'm just going to use Arial Regular for now. Click on Apply. Click on Close. Job done. So that is there. And then I select it from the list here. So there's my training there, like so. And you can see that all looks nice and neat and tidy. I'm going to align the text alignment with the dimension line, like so. And you can see that all aligns nicely as well. I then go to the Fit section. I don't need to change anything here because the annotative is ticked. Primary units, I want decimal, but I don't want any decimal places. So now, can you see the dimensions are beginning to look kind of good? They're beginning to look the way they should. Now, anything else that you might want to add, like zero suppression, angular dimensions are set to decimal degrees as well. I haven't got any alternate units, so that is unticked. I haven't got any tolerances, so the method is set to none. So now I just bring the dialog box up, click on OK, select my training anno and set as the current style, and then click on close. Now I go into the annotate tab on the ribbon, click on the flyout menu here, and I can place a linear dimension using that style. But I need to just check one thing. This is a new feature in AutoCAD 2017. Make sure that you're on the right layer. So you need to use your DIMS layer, like so, because remember, all the other dimensioning layers are frozen off in the current viewport. So make sure you're using the DIMS layer and the training anno dimension style, like so. Before you do anything else, set your annotation scale here to 1:20 to match the viewport that we've got in the Stair A layout. Then we're going to place a linear dimension, and we're going to go from this point here, using your object snaps, to this point here. Click. And there's our 536 dimension. Just place it roughly in the center of the landing. It all looks the right size. If you pan across, it's a very different size to this dimension here. That's because we're using our annotation scale of 1:20 and our annotative dimension style. Go back to Stair A, the layout, and you'll notice if you zoom in, there's your nice dimension there. And you'll notice that all the other dimensions aren't there. And even if I switch those layers on, they won't appear. And the reason for that is because they're not annotative. This one is. So it will always scale to the right size in the 1:20 viewport. Let me show you what I mean. If I double click in here, like so, and I change the scale of the viewport to say 1:10, watch the dimension. If I pan down a little bit, it's gone, because it's only got that annotative scale of 1:20 attached to it. Now, if I change the scale to 1:10 and just zoom in on the top here, I'll just pan that down. So we know that that is now 1:10 and the dimension hasn't appeared. If I go back to the Model tab, select my dimension, like so, and then just right-click and go up here. Annotative Object Scale, Add and Delete Scales. I've got 1:20. If I add 1:10 from the list, like so, and OK it, I've now got two annotative scales applied to that dimension. If I now go back to Stair A, the dimension is there again, but it's scaled at 1:10. And the really good thing about this is you can set it so that your dimensions only appear at certain annotative scales. It saves you having to use viewport freeze or setting up different layers and things for your dimensions. So if I set this back now to 1:20, the dimension still appears, but it resizes accordingly to the 1:20 scale of the viewport. So I'll just double click to obviously deactivate the viewport, go back to the model like so, and my dimension is still there. So make sure you utilize annotative scaling for your dimensions as well in your AutoCAD 2017 drawings.